Look, you are not going to believe this, but in some part of Dubai right now, off-plan properties are selling for more than ready properties. Yeah, you heard that right. You're paying more for something that doesn't even exist yet and won't for what, maybe 2-3 years? As an investor, that's just dead money. No rent, no cash flow. And I get it, off-plan properties look shiny and the payment plans are tempting and the developers, man, they are pros at creating hype. But here's the thing, the numbers don't lie. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly why these off-plan prices make no sense right now. With real numbers, real comparison, and a breakdown of what smart investors are actually doing in this market. So before you throw a chunk of money on an off-plan project, do yourself a favor. Watch this. This could save you hundreds of thousands of dirhams. You remember what happened after COVID, right? Dubai real estate market went absolutely ballistic. Developers, they couldn't launch projects fast enough, and buyers, they were lining up sometimes overnight just to book an off-plan unit. It was pure FOMO. People thought, if I don't buy right now, I will never get in. And honestly, back then, that mindset cannot make sense because the numbers were working. Prices were lower, payment plans were flexible, and the demand was flying in from everywhere. Investors from Europe, Asia, even crypto guys were throwing money into Dubai real estate like there was no tomorrow. But fast forward to today, and here's where things start to go sideways. That post-COVID/Ukraine war gold rush is over. The panic buying is gone. But you know what's not gone? The pricing. Developers are still launching off-plan projects at those sky-high prices like it's 2021. Except now, the demand is cooling off. And secondary market listing, they are sitting there. I have a unit sitting on the market for the past few weeks, and I was not expecting that there would be so little interest from buyers. So my question is, why would anyone in their right mind pay more for something that they won't even see for the next 2-3 years? Now, I'm not anti-off-plan, but my personal definition of a smart off-plan deal is super clear. If I'm buying something that doesn't exist yet, I'm taking some real risk, right? I can't rent it, I can't use it, I've got zero cash flow, and let's be honest, the delays, they are very possible. So the only way these deals make sense to me is if I'm buying at least 20 to 30% below the market value. That's the cushion I need to cover the waiting period, the construction risk, and the loss of income. Because when the property is finally ready, maybe 2-3 years down the line, I want to be in a position where I can resell with a profit. Even if the market doesn't move, even if it stays flat, I should still be able to exit with a profit. But right now, you are paying full price, or even, in some cases, more than ready properties prices. For something that won't even exist for years, there's no room left for profit. You're just betting on the market to go up, but you have no control over the market. It will go up and then down, and even the best analysts in the world can't predict exactly when is the top and when is the bottom of the market. So myself, you, or your real estate agent are not going to be able to predict if the prices will continue to rise for 1, 2, 3 more years, or if they are going to crash tomorrow. Now I want to show you some real data on off-plan prices in 2015 versus off-plan prices today, so that we can see why, for me, today it does not make sense to buy off-plan. Alright guys, so for this data analysis I will use my website, Macan Academy. So as a reminder, I just downloaded all the transactions data from Dubai Land Department and built a website that draws graphs and charts around it. So that helps for data analysis. So here we are going to focus on analyzing the off-plan data versus the ready property data in a few master projects. So I will start with Jumeirah Village Circle because it's one of my favorite projects in Dubai. So I selected the area. So here we have this blue line here. That's basically the price evolution per square foot in this area, so in JVC. And I built this functionality here where you can select a year. And this year will basically take all the buildings and villas that were delivered in that specific year and calculate the average price per square foot evolution only for those buildings and villas delivered in that year. So in our case, we want to compare 10 years ago to today. So we'll select 2015. And to have an idea of what building and villa we are talking about, I put the list over here. So if we look at the building where the completion date was 2015, we have quite a few of them. There are about maybe all of these, so about 10-15 of them. There's a mix of villas and apartments. And there's a good mix, yeah, villas and apartments. So that will give you a good data for our analysis, good data set. So let's go. I select 2015 and now we have this pink line that is added to the chart. So this allows us to compare the evolution price per square foot of all the buildings from 2015 that were delivered in 2015 to the average prices per square foot in Jumeirah Village Circle. So this vertical line here is when the buildings and villas that we have selected have been handed over. And we can see that the transaction for those started 2 years before. So that's the off-plan phase of those projects. And that's the ready phase. So the first thing that we can note here is, let me zoom in a bit, is that there is an important gap between the off-plan phase of those projects and the average price per square foot in JVC. So that means that during the off-plan phase in 2015, on average, the off-plan properties were sold about 25-30% below the market value. Closer to the handover period, here, the prices of these units and villas, they match and they actually exceed the market value. So here, we have an increase in prices for off-plan project of about 80 to 90% over here. So that's a huge increase in prices. And after that, we have our project from 2015 that are following the market price for a couple of years before they drop, and before then, after that, that's another thing that's common in Dubai, but we'll not talk about that in this video, is when properties are ready, after a few years, they tend to see a huge price drop, and then you can see that they will follow at some point the market evolution, but they will never meet again the market price. So here, what's very interesting for us is, as an investor, it would have been very smart to buy here and sell here, or even here. If you buy here and sell here, you basically make about 80% gain. If you sell here, you make about 100% gain. So that's a huge gain in 2 to 4 years. But let's compare this now to what's happening in 2025. And what we have here is, so again in blue, we have the average price per square foot in JVC. And here, the price evolution of the project that are supposed to be completed in 2025 in JVC. So again, we see that the transaction started 2 years before, so in 2023, but the difference is now that the off-plan price and the market value is actually pretty much the same. It's actually a little bit higher than the market value. So we have off-plan projects that are selling higher than the market value. And during the off-plan phase, they follow the market value. So here, there is very little margin for appreciation possible. If the market goes up like crazy, like obviously, we will be making some gain as an investor here, but if the market goes flat or the market goes slightly down, the people who invested here are basically making very little to no money at all, right? Because if you buy here and invest and sell here, it would have been maybe even smarter to buy a ready property here that you could have rented for a couple of years, and you would have already got some rent, and then you can sell it for a small profit, for a small capital appreciation as well. So that's why, as of today, for me, I don't believe that it makes a lot of sense to buy off-plan properties. Obviously, so this is just in general, there may be some good deals out there. There may be places where you can still buy properties 20 to 30% below the market price, but I've not been able to find such project. And we can see, so here I selected Jumeirah Village Circle, but let's compare in other areas as well. So let's have a look in Al Forjan. Right, we have selected Al Forjan here. So that's the price evolution of Al Forjan here. And if we select again 10 years ago, we had something a bit similar. So 10 years ago, then you have 2 years of transaction before the handover, where prices in Al Forjan for off-plan properties were about 40% below the market price. And then at the handover period, actually the off-plan properties, so already now properties, they are selling at higher price than the market value. So that's a very good sign. And then for a few years, those new properties follow the market price before they start to decorrelate from the market price and subperform. And again, if we compare this now to 2025, what's happening is that now in Al Forjan you actually have the off-plan properties selling even higher than the market value, a lot higher. So now here I'm just wondering, where's the margin for profit? Let's have a look at one last area, maybe Arjan. So again, let's select 2015. So 2015, again here, that's something very similar to what we saw in JVC actually for Arjan. Here we are about 40% price discount on the project. Then we have our front project that goes up in value and meet the market prices almost during the handover period or 1 year after. And then for a couple of years, they follow the market value. And then again, for something very common in Dubai, a few years after the handover, those projects lose value, and then they start to move in parallel to the market value, but they will never be able to catch up with the actual market price. So this drop here is something that is very common in Dubai, and it deserves another video. And here again, let's compare to 2025. In Arjan in 2025, you again have the new projects that are selling above the market value. That's it for today's video. Let me know in the comment what you think. Have you seen off-plan deals that still make sense? Or are you sitting on the sidelines like a lot of smart money is doing right now? I'm very much open to debate on this, as I believe many people strongly believe that off-plan is still the way to go. And if you found this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more investors content on Dubai real estate. And I'll see you in the next video.